Welcome to this explainer. Imagine being locked in a room with five absolute die-hard sports fans, but there's a catch. One of them is a complete fraud. Today, we're breaking down a brilliant social deduction game where professional cricketers and our judges for the day, Hassan Ali and Moeen Ali, have to interrogate a lineup of five supposed superfans to sniff out the single imposter among them. It's literally a masterclass in high-pressure questioning, hilarious blunders, and some truly next-level deception. We're going to tackle this mystery like a true detective's case file. We'll start with Phase 1, the suspect lineup, move into Phase 2, the trivia trap, check out Phase 3, cultural tests and taste, and finally hit Phase 4, unmasking the imposter. Play along and see if you can spot the fake before the pros do. Let's kick things off with Phase 1, the suspect lineup, where we're meeting the five contestants. Okay, so let's establish our baseline. Look at these profiles, and man, the cracks start showing almost immediately. Take Patrick, for example. When asked for his surname, he confidently drops Muhammad. It's an unexpected combo that instantly makes the judges raise an eyebrow. And then there's John. When asked for his last name, he awkwardly stammers before landing on literally the most generic name possible, Smith. Right out of the gate, the judges are suspicious. Are these guys just nervous, or are they hiding something? Moving right along to Phase 2, the trivia trap, testing their cricket knowledge. The judges knew a fake fan might have a surface-level persona prepared, so they absolutely cranked up the heat. They started with a foundational question to flush out anyone lacking basic everyday knowledge of the sport. What does PSL stand for? For any real Pakistani cricket fan, the Pakistani Super League is an absolute given. It's basically like asking an American football fan what the NFL stands for. Well, this right here brilliantly illustrates the pressure of the hot seat. John completely cracks. He blurts out, Poetic Standard League. I mean, it is a hilariously confident, yet completely wrong guess. The judges obviously note this massive red flag, but they don't boot him just yet. They need to see how the rest of the room holds up. To really separate the diehards from the casuals, the judges brought up historic moments that any true fan should literally have baked into their DNA. The 1992 World Cup, for instance, is legendary in Pakistani cricket history. The genuine fans easily bypassed these historical traps. They didn't just answer the questions, they brought context. Mo casually mentions Imran Khan leaving the sport right after the 92 win. Patrick knows the difference between the 50-over win and the T20 matches. And Chesley, he starts rattling off highly specific old-school names like Suckland Mushtaq, even name-dropping his famous delivery, the doozer. You know, that is exactly the kind of granular knowledge that is incredibly hard to fake on the spot. But then, the spotlight of suspicion swings right back onto John. When asked about Shoaib Akhtar, who is arguably one of the most famous, terrifyingly quick fast bowlers in the history of the sport, John wildly guesses that he's a batter. It's a catastrophic error. That is the equivalent of saying Michael Jordan was famous for being a baseball catcher. Now things get really interesting in Phase 3, cultural tests and taste, going well beyond the boundary ropes. This is where the psychology of the game gets fascinating. Realizing a clever imposter might just memorize some Wikipedia trivia, the judges shift their tactics to cultural background, food, and language. And the juxtaposition is incredible. They ask about favorite Pakistani meals. Zahn names beef nihari, a highly authentic, beloved traditional dish. But John? He goes with fish and chips. He admits he just isn't adventurous at all. Now, you'd think this instantly gives him away, right? But the judges start overthinking it. They actually start to wonder if John is a genuine fan, purposely giving stereotypically British answers to throw them off the scent. It's brilliant psychological warfare. Then we get a massive red herring from Patrick. The judges ask the guys to speak a little bit of Urdu. Patrick actively dodges the test, claiming the only Urdu he knows is too inappropriate to repeat on camera. This completely muddies the waters. The judges start second-guessing his legitimacy. Is he really a fan, or is this just the ultimate excuse to hide the fact that he doesn't know a single word? Meanwhile, John's attempt at speaking Urdu is just complete and utter nonsense. He literally just says "kari" and awkwardly mumbles about what it might mean. The evidence against this guy is turning into a mountain, but the judges are still totally tangled up in their own paranoia about double bluffs. Desperate for some clarity, the judges launch one final high-octane rapid-fire round. They try to catch the contestants off guard by shouting out famous cricketing nicknames, asking things like, who is known as the Sultan of Swing, and later, the Rawalpindi Express. And this is where absolute chaos reigns. Mo and Patrick instantly nail the correct answer, Wassim Ikram. But the actual genuine fans, sensing the tension, start actively trolling the judges. Zahn jokingly answers Bruno Fernandes, a Portuguese soccer player, and Chesley guesses the English cricketer Ravi Bopara for the Rawalpindi Express. This creates a climax of pure confusion. The judges literally can no longer tell who is an ignorant imposter and who is just a real fan having a laugh at their expense. So it all comes down to this. Phase 4, unmasking the imposter and getting the final verdict. We've gathered all the clues, we've watched the blunders and the double bluffs, and now it's time to see how the judges sifted through the absolute chaos. The suspicion heavily bounced around. You had Patrick looking highly suspicious due to his evasiveness and that unusual surname. Chesley was throwing out weird, sarcastic answers. And then, of course, there's John. Not only did he say his favorite dish was fish and chips and that the PSL meant Poetic Standard League, but earlier in the interrogation, he claimed to be 18 years old. When asked his birth year, he confidently said 2009, a massive math failure that actually made him 17 at the time of the recording. Despite overthinking the whole fish and chips double bluff theory, the sheer weight of the evidence was just too much to ignore. After intense deliberation, the judges finally lock in their answer. The fake is contestant number 1. And they absolutely nailed it. John is officially unmasked. Turns out his real name is Doug. He is a 21-year-old England fan who completely fabricated a persona, pretending to be an 18-year-old named John just so he could get on the shoot. The entire identity was a hilarious house of cards. The best part is how Doug actually managed to survive the interrogation for as long as he did. He laughingly admits to the judges that he got by simply by listening in and copying the answers whispered by the genuine Pakistani cricket fans sitting right next to him. He was literally crowdsourcing his alibi in real time. It's such a brilliant reminder of how tough it is to maintain a lie under the spotlight of genuine experts. So as we wrap up this explainer, it really leaves you wondering, how well would your own knowledge hold up if you were suddenly put in the hot seat and interrogated by professionals about your absolute favorite hobby? Which basic, obvious fact would completely slip your mind and accidentally give you away as a fake? Definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep that curiosity sharp.